My favourite quote about divorce is by Robin Williams, who said, "Ah yes, divorce, from the Latin word to mean to rip out a man's genitals through his wallet." Now, did you know that about 70% of divorces are initiated by the woman, often shocking their husbands who seem to have no idea that their wife felt that way? Men are more likely to tolerate an unhappy marriage, but women will often plan their exit months, sometimes years in advance. Women are so much better than men at planning a divorce. Most men don't plan, so they lose more, so go figure that out for yourself. In this program, I'm going to share with you a number of behaviours that dangerous women use before they announce a divorce. Some of what I talk about are worst case scenarios, but at least it gives you an idea of what can happen. But first, a few facts about divorce. In the last 40 years, divorce rates have soared in just about every so-called civilized country. There are nearly 1 million divorces a year in the United States. In the UK, there are about 150,000 divorces every year. That's 1.8 million in the past decade. If you're married already or about to get married, you're far more likely to become divorced than win even a small lottery prize. Marrying and then divorcing a nasty woman hurts, and in more ways than a non-divorced man can ever imagine. A vindictive woman's goal is often to walk away with the most valuable marital assets, and she goes after it with a ruthless passion that is impossible for most nice men to understand. On top of that, the legal system is preferential to women. Now, women are renowned for their emotional sensitivity, while men are thought of as being logical and analytical. Well, when it comes to divorce, women are frequently experts at being incredibly strategic, very logical, and highly analytical, while men tend to fall apart trying to handle the problems using their underdeveloped emotions and actually discard their logic. When it comes to divorce, abusive women seem to have the capacity to flick the emotional off switch and behave in ways that often defy belief. Now, before announcing a divorce, she might deliberately behave very badly and force the man to blow his top, or to provoke him into saying or doing something that she can then use him against him. That's a common trap and could be part of her justification for divorcing a husband in the first place. Or, if you've always been rowing and arguing, everything miraculously stops. It's as if all of the problems have gone away and the marriage has somehow inexplicably got better. Or more likely, it's the calm before the storm, all part of a plan to lull you into a false sense of security. Now, let me tell you what we've been told about ex-wife behaviour by various divorced men. Now, not all of these will always happen, but it will give you an idea of what you can expect. One woman started removing joint marital assets from the home, and she hid or sold them and pocketed the cash. The wife of another man we knew would go away for days on end, loading up the car with many of his personal items from before the marriage and selling them. Not only did she keep that cash, but when he bought the replacement TV or stereo, it became joint property purchased after the marriage. Now, this tricky conversion of assets meant that when they divorced, he lost most of what he'd had before the marriage, as well as what they'd bought together. She may have been advised to spend as much of his money as possible and to go further into debt than ever before. Now, this strategy may include running up larger than usual balances on joint credit cards, on items for her personal use, such as expensive clothes and furniture. She may insist on a new car, paid for in cash, or a loan in the husband's name. This is quite cunning because it could be used to prove to a divorce court that she's used to a lavish lifestyle, which her lawyers will then argue should be maintained after the divorce. Maybe she returns some of the expensive items for a cash refund later. Multiple wins for a very deceitful wife. Of course, by doing this, she could destroy the husband's credit rating at a time when he's at his most vulnerable financially, making it difficult or even impossible to secure a loan to start the life again. Meanwhile, she resorts to her maiden name after the divorce and then is free to apply for credit. She may give up her job to prove in a divorce court that she's got no income, or she persuades the husband to see a therapist. Now, this is a neat trick because you'll be blamed as the reason that she went to see a therapist in the first place, and then you pay for her proof against you. Some women have been known to lend her husband's money to family members or friends, and they get it back after the divorce has been finalised. And a similar trick is when she claims to have lost a lot of money gambling. The scam is to withdraw the money at the casino, turn it into gambling chips, and then change it back at a later time. Another telltale sign that she might be planning a divorce is that for the first time she may become interested in your financial affairs and searches through your financial files while you're out of the house. She asks friends and families about your work and promotion prospects and makes a point of talking about you, about your financial situation with your financial advisors. And she might even clear out your joint accounts. She might change her appearance with a new wardrobe of clothes, crash diet, new hairstyle, newfound obsession with the gym. Could be that she's looking for a new lover, or maybe she's found one already. She might persuade you to pay for or contribute to cosmetic surgery for herself. Also beware if she's seeing her mother or her best friend more than usual. She might start new hobbies to give an excuse to be out more often. Perhaps she has a habit of provoking a row so she can storm out of the house because she's going to see somebody. Her cell phone may be off at new times of the day, or if she answers it, she cuts you off instantly and then calls you back, say, 30 seconds later, having had time to move out of the earshot of her new boyfriend, maybe. She might accuse you of having an affair when you're not, and she knows it, but she is. And all this before she even tells you that she wants a divorce. Then it can get much worse. Now, a final comment about most divorces. Her lawyers invariably make ridiculous and unreasonable demands on the husband, designed to push buttons so that they wear you out emotionally. This increases the likelihood that eventually you'd agree to anything in order for the pain to go away. Most men have no idea that they're being played in this way. It's a very common tactic. Now, if you want to know more about these issues, they are in our book, but the most important piece of advice I can give any man in a bad marriage: find a really good divorce lawyer and go and see him or her before you have to. How to choose such a lawyer is also in our book. You know, I'm thinking about becoming a motivational speaker, but the trouble is nobody ever tells you this stuff, and when they do, what they say is dismissed as then being far too negative. And invariably people say, "My wife would never do such a thing." If you know a guy who is or might be going through a divorce, for his sake, tell him about this program. If you're the one going through a divorce with a dangerous woman, good luck.